Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is England Jones, and thank you for tuning. Just finished watching the card, the Box Nation card, topping the bill, Liam Walsh in his latest British title defence. Hughie Fury on the bill. Jamie Conlon in potentially the fight of the year against Nelson, the Commonwealth champion. We had Ryan Walsh in a defence of his British title. Anthony Yard, I didn't actually get to see his fight, so I can't comment much on that. And yeah, good night's worth of boxing there tonight for sure. Really good night's worth of boxing. I mean, the shows that I've seen on Sky, that's if I'm really honest with you, definitely are not being valued for money. And Box Nation, once again, Frank Warren has put on a cracking card from start to finish. Really good card. Where shall we begin? Yep, before I begin, I'm going to give a shout out. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. First of all, shout out to LJA Sports Photography. Laura, saw her in the background there with her camera there on the ready, taking a photograph. I don't know who she's taking a photograph of, but she was next to Tyson Fury during the Box Nation interview live. So shout out to Laura if you're watching this. Good to see you at the cover box doing your thing, taking fantastic photographs and blogging as well, talking about the sport of boxing. Keep it up. Okay, I think I'll start from the top of the bill, meaning because that's the freshest memory I got first, and work my way back down. First of all, we'll talk about Liam Walsh. I've been saying this for ages about Liam Walsh. Massive fan of Liam Walsh. Love what he does as a fighter. I think he's got all the skills. Can box going forward, can box going back, can fight on the inside, can fight at southpaw, can fight orthodox. Doesn't mind having a bit of a fight. Has silky boxing skills. Listen, this guy is far better, as far as I'm concerned, than Kevin Mitchell or Ricky Burns. Both of those guys went on to fight for world titles, and Ricky Burns went on to become a world champion. I know Frank Warren talks about injuries, and the only other guy I know that had injuries as bad as Liam Walsh was Joe Calzaghe. I'm not comparing Joe Calzaghe to Liam Walsh, but his career was blighted with injuries. I just hope that Liam Walsh gets that opportunity to show that he is he's definitely above British level. He needs to be fighting European world level. I would put him in with Ricky Burns tomorrow. I would put him in with what's his name, with Kevin Mitchell any day of the week. So you know, I put him in with Terry Flanagan, but I don't care much for Terry Flanagan, Derry Math, all them kind of guys. Liam Walsh is a cut above them guys. So I'd love to see what Liam Walsh's skills are like. He was playing tonight with Troy James, absolutely playing with him. You know, I saw at the beginning of the fight, he came out first round, trying to throw, you know, trying to have a war with Troy James. And I said to him, I said, people who are tweeting, if anyone was watching my tweets from early on, at Bayloric TV Box In, I was tweeting, I said, listen, Liam Walsh, first round's come out now, and he's fighting hyper. He's not settled, he's fighting hyper. And then he explained at the end of the fight that, yeah, he was a bit hyper, a bit giddy, you know, and he wanted to have a fight with Troy James. But this guy's got talent, and he's basically saying he wasn't scared of the opposition. And if he's fighting that way, he's moving through the gears. He was playing with Troy James, literally playing with him. You know, it was cat and mouse, really, just playing with him. You know, letting Troy James hit him, practicing nice, tucking up nicely, responding when he's been on the ropes, tucking up, nice counter shots, you know, slipping, doing different defensive moves. It was like sparring practice in there for Liam Walsh tonight. So shout out to Liam Walsh. That's a guy, as I said, I think he's one of the best British fighters. His style is very much more American, and his movement's very fluid. Shout out to his trainers as well. I think he's a top fighter, and it's about time he mixed it with the best in the world. At super featherweight or lightweight, he can fight 2 divisions there, and he's a top fighter that needs a lot more in not so much promotion, but he needs to be out there fighting in some big fights and some big names. I remember watching him against Scott Harrison, a guy I used to like. And one thing I knew about Scott Harrison, he was a guy who's strong and kept coming forward. And Liam Walsh played with him as well. So So shout out to Liam Walsh, and anybody who's watching this who's connected to Liam Walsh, I would love to get an interview. I've interviewed Liam Walsh briefly before on the channel, but I'm a massive fan of Liam Walsh and what he does, and I'd love to be able to, you know, who knows, I might even travel to Norwich to get that interview. I think he's a great fighter, British fighter, and it's nice of him to move on now. And he's got a bit of charisma there, and he's got a nice fan-friendly style without fighting with his face. And I think, you know, I'd like to see what he would be like in America. I think the Americans would love Liam Walsh and his style. Well, we may see what happens with Liam Walsh's career. Moving on, after Liam Walsh, we can talk about who's after Liam Walsh. Hughie Fury. I know the Boo Boys were there and out in force, but they would have booed whether it was Tyson or Hughie. There's a big wave at the moment for Anthony Joshua, and if you can't knock a guy in 2 rounds, then you know those guys who are casuals will boo at someone like Hughie Fury. Again, I said and I tweeted, Fred Kassi was a very good fight for Hughie Fury at this stage of his career. 21 years old, you know, 20-0. I said before the fight in the preview that Hughie would dominate behind the left jab, and if you look at the fight, excellent left jab, dominating behind the left jab, and trying to find a home for the right hand. You know, like I said, Fred Kassi doesn't get stopped often. He gave Dominic Brazil a tough fight. I thought he beat Brazil, and he beat Areola as well. Mansour got him out of there, but Mansour didn't get him out of there until the 7th round. So Hughie Fury was on course, I thought. Just using the jab, behind the jab. There were times where Kassi had him trapped in the corner, and he'd spin off from the ropes. Good footwork, used the jab and boxed. And Kassi really couldn't get close. Kassi couldn't do the dangerous things he was doing. Kassi got closer when Fury got cut by the accidental cut over his head by the headbutt, and it was accidental. So, you know, but by then Hughie was miles ahead. Kassi didn't win a round. You know, Kassi wasn't even competitive because of the left jab. I've been telling people for a while, when you've got a left jab like Hughie Fury, he's got an excellent left jab, one of the best left jabs in current heavyweight world boxing. A better jab than Joshua. Very good jab. Hughie was complaining in the corner of not feeling it. I don't know if that illness has come back to him. His dad was saying, I don't want to hear any of that. Get on with it. So, you know, he's been tested, and his dad is testing. He's put him in waters, deeper waters, and he was still responding. It would have been interesting to see if that fight gone on a bit more with the cut, and with Kassi getting stronger. He seemed to be getting on to Hughie. So it would have been interesting to see how Hughie would have responded in that situation. You know, it would have been a shame if Fury got stopped and cut from accident headbutt. But it would have been interesting to see the second half of that fight as Kassi was coming on, was starting to check his chances, landing a couple of right hands because Hughie was cut. What would have happened there as well? So Hughie was winning the fight, expected to be. You can't blow everybody out, and I'm glad that he's not blowing everybody out. That he's actually fighting guys with good chins who know how to slip punches and not just coming for a payday. They're coming to, you know, they're coming to see if they can win, or they're trying to do the best that they can to keep their record and keep fighting. So shout out to Fred Kassi for coming over and trying. But against a guy who's got a range like Hughie Fury, it's a bit different than Dominic Brazil, who's pressing the fight against him and really didn't have the skill level to judge distance and have good footwork. Same with Areola, another guy that doesn't use a jab very well. And so these guys, you know, were not able to establish a left jab, which allowed Kassi to get into some sort of rhythm, build some sort of confidence, land right hands, and make it the back and forth fight, which Kassi has made it in those previous fights. This fight, that didn't happen. Again, great left jab. I would go on to say that Hughie Fury's got a world-class left jab. Still things to work on his game. You know, he'd like to put some punches together. I'd like to see him put more punches together, a bit more authoritative against Kassi. But again, if he'd been more authoritative, would he have opened up opportunities for Kassi to land his own? Cassi's very good, remember, when you're throwing your own punches, he likes to throw straight down the middle as well. So Hughie didn't allow that. He used the length of his jab and kept Kassi at the end of that jab. So shout out to Hughie Fury for that. The cut, okay, it happens. The booing, well, you know, it's not good, but you know, Hughie take that in his stride. And Peter Fury is giving some hard words in the corner, but hey, you know, Dad wants to see him do his best. At the same time, as his trainer, he's also telling him, you know what, focus on the fight. You've got the skills, you've got the ability, get out there and show it. Tyson Fury being ringside saying that he thinks that Fury should do better, should be doing better against guys like Kassi and putting a show on, and not for him to be boring or not to expect a boring fight. Unfortunately, by Tyson saying that and people tuning in after seeing all those good fights on the undercard so far, leading to Hugh Fury's fight, that kind of, you know, after seeing a great fight of Conlon and Nelson, and then almost a stinker almost in comparison to tonight's fights. You know, if the other fights weren't so bad or weren't as cracking as we got a fight of the year just before Fury's fight, I mean, you know, we're trying to put things in perspective here. So unfortunately, Hughie had that happen on a night where there were some cracking fights before him. So he wanted to go out and impress. The performance wasn't great. He used the jab, did what he had to do against that sort of opponent. And there'll be better days for Hughie Fury and technical skills he's got. And there'll be better days ahead for Hughie Fury. I've got no doubts that he's going to go on and do big things. Some people are a bit harsh saying he's only European level. This is a 21-year-old fighting Fred Kassi. And there are a lot of prospects in the world that with only 20 fights at 21 years old definitely would not be fighting the likes of Fred Kassi. Bearing in mind the guys that Fred Cassi's fought and technically I thought beat. So, right, next one down. Nelson Conlon, a great fight. You know, Nelson said he was out of the ring for a year. Inactivity can hurt you at the best of times. All I can say about that fight was that it kept you on the edge of your seat, edge of your pants, seat for the whole fight. Definitely exciting. Definitely want to see a rematch. Back and forth. The thing with me is Nelson. I mean, there was a point in the fight where I saw Nelson had rocked back and thought, this fight's got to be stopped right now. Why is the referee not stopping it? But Nelson comes back and drops Conlon. You know, Jamie Conlon, exciting fighter. You can't keep fighting like that, though. Honestly, you cannot keep fighting like that. And his career is going to be a short career if he keeps fighting in fights like that. Exciting, yes. Long career, no. Definitely not a long career. Talk about him fighting Paul Butler. Still interesting fight to see. As for Nelson, would love to see him come back again. I think Nelson with a little bit more technical skill, a bit more technical know-how, and not walking straight forward and taking punches, could be a very difficult guy to beat. You know, he was walking forward in straight lines, taking flush shots on his chin, and you know, there was no finesse about what he was doing. If Nelson could have a little bit more finesse, he'd have a longer career than Conlon, and potentially a better career than Conlon, because there's some things you can't teach. And you can teach a guy to have a better defense. You can teach a guy to slip punches. You can teach a guy to be more evasive. You can't teach a guy to have a good chin, and you can't teach a guy to have great recuperative powers, and you can't teach a guy to have a big heart. And that guy came off the canvas, got dropped, came back up, and he fought like if nothing had happened to him. And he actually got stronger after he got dropped. So shout out to Nelson. I think Nelson's got a good career ahead of him. He's only 11 fights as well. I think 11, 12 fight. Got a great career ahead of him. Just like to see Nelson set himself up better for the future. More technical skills added rather than just rushing straight forward in straight lines. He's got more of a future, I think, long term than Jamie Conlon, who I think is going to be a very here today, gone tomorrow fighter of that sort of style, because you can't have too many more than wars and his face blows up all the time. So, you know, he's exciting. Don't get me wrong. Jamie Conlon's an exciting fighter. He can punch and it's a shootout with him, and he's got a big heart and he's got balls, but I just don't know how long you can keep on fighting like that. Ryan Walsh, next fight. Ryan Walsh versus Tennyson. Tennyson looked big at the weight. And I've got to say this, and this is something I hear a lot about people. People say, oh, this guy's a beast. He's big. He's bigger than him. Ryan Walsh proved it ain't about how big you are. You know how big you are, it's how big your heart is and your boxing skills. First time I seen Ryan Walsh, extremely impressed with him. I still think Liam's a better fighter than him, but I think he would disagree. I think Ryan Walsh, good fighter, put his punches together nicely, got some nice power there, nice movement, just like his brother Liam. Tennyson, big, strong, maybe too big for the weight. Could be weight drain, don't know. But Ryan Walsh, impressed with him. Like to see him fight a bit more often now. Have my eyes on both of those Walsh brothers. I wasn't sure if Michael actually fights as well. If he did, I didn't see him fight tonight. But he may have fought, but I didn't watch I didn't start watching till 8 o'clock. So to be fair, yeah. So I think that's about it with that. I think there's a lot of people in the room, so we'll just check and see what people are saying. All right, people in the room, let's go. Neil Hart, hi Ingram. Neil Hart, good fight tonight. I did indeed some very good fights. Shout out to Frank Warren for putting on some damn good fights tonight. And that card tonight, basically, pardon my French, but pissed all over most of Sky Sports boxing shows that buy Hype Room or Mismatch Room. Good fights. Evening all to Boxing Gossip. Landa 657. Did Fury get KO win? Don't know. Did you watch the fight? Fury looked very average, like he was sleepwalking. Yeah, I just wonder if that illness has come back to him again. Damn, waiting for him to KO people. LOL. Can't deny AJ would have ironed out Kassi in 3 rounds. People want action. People frustrated with him in the corner. I agree. Benjamin Berger, good evening, and good evening to Free Khabib. A good boxer. Only he has now no power. I don't know about no power. You've got to think these guys are durable. Fred Kassi. You look at the guys that Cassie's been in with. Ariola couldn't get him out there. Are you saying Ariola can't punch? And Dominic Brazil couldn't get him out there. And Amir Mansour took 7 rounds to get him out there. So Hughie was on the way. So I'm not sure about that. John Earp, good evening. Hope you're well. We won't talk too much about the Hughie fight. I spoke about it earlier. John Earp says, good point here. Hughie Fury's fought better fighters than AJ, not just 45-year-old window cleaners. Agreed. Landa 657 says, nah, AJ fought White. He's better than all Fury's opponents may be. That's debatable because Fred Kassi actually fought Ariola. He fought Dominic Brazil. He's fought Amir Mansour. Would Dillian White beat Amir Mansour? Would he beat Ariola, or would he beat Dominic Brazil? Who knows? Fred Kassi against AJ would be a good fight. Kassi is much tougher than Charles Martin. He is indeed. He's awkward. He's an awkward fighter, and he's a good fighter. And I think it's the sort of fights that guys need before they move up to world class. So I think these are learning fights. And if you understand world boxing, that you're building a fighter up. John App says, what about Tyson Fury's shape? No, he does the rounds well, but the lad seems depressed. But does he, Feuds? I don't know. Tyson, I don't know about Tyson. I think when you've got the media, doing the best that they can to ignore you and to put light on another guy that's got the belt, your belt, and that guy is getting more credit than you, then I think that can have its effect. It can definitely have its effect, because here you are, heavyweight champion of the world, yet the guy on another station who's got your belt, you got stripped of a title because you decided to fight not only a mandatory, but the best heavyweight in the world. Now, again, I put this out earlier. All these people are saying now, Klitschko could knock out Fury. Are you basically saying, are you seeing Klitschko still as the #1 heavyweight in the world? And the other question is, if Fury beats Klitschko, even though you're saying that Klitschko KOs Fury, would you stick Joshua in the ring with Klitschko if he KO'd Fury? That's the question. He's pissed off with AJ and the Hearns big time, and the media has been disgusted. Well, one media man that hasn't been disgusted is myself. You know that I've given Fury the time of day, and I've always given him the utmost respect. And I've asked him the questions that people want the answers to. So, I like Tyson. Got a lot of time for him. And I think Tyson should, there are people out there that actually do care, and focus on those people. My response to all this is focus on those members of media that actually do spend the time of day to come and see you. do spend the time of day retweeting and showing the love to those media members of media that do give you the time of day, that do write good reports about you, that do report good things about you, that do videos about you, that do cover your back, and you know, those people in the media that actually do care about you. Focus on those guys, focus on those people in boxing, and forget those people that weren't even there at the start. That's what you need to be doing. So get your focus on there, and that's what I would do. You know, so forget about the media that wasn't there in the first place. Focus on the media and the real, you know, you're a man that knows boxing. Focus on those people in boxing that look after your best interests, and focus on those people who followed you from the start, as opposed to these bandwagon people. And just, you know, I personally, I wouldn't even do interviews with them, to be honest. But there you go. That's my thoughts. Free Khabib says Fury's illness looks to be back. His skin was terrible. They need to find out what it is. Good point. I do wonder if Hughie Fury has got a illness triggered by stress, because that's something that would bring out acne. Stress. I know there are people talking about PEDs and crap like that, but this is somebody who's been sick, thrown up in the changing room and stuff. I think that it could be stress. It could be stress. And maybe Hughie's susceptible to stress, and stress maybe that brings on the illness. So I'm wondering. Tyson's my favorite fighter. I hope he gets KO win. I hope so too. You have to be fair to the Furies. Fair play. How's it going? I'm really 770. I'm good. How have you? Well, they have been good back. Door swings both ways. I agree. Tyson's pissed off with I from London and Coogan. Well, all I can say is this point. To this point is, you know, I don't know. We still hold the highest, and I'm going to keep on saying it. We hold the highest one-to-one interview of Tyson Fury in the history of Tyson Fury interviews. I'm talking about one-to-one interviews. I'm not talking about press conferences. I'm not talking about Tyson sitting next to David Haye. I'm not talking about Tyson coming to arena. I'm not talking about Tyson being with Klitschko. I'm talking about Tyson one-on-one interviews. We still hold the record of a one-to-one interview, which is 334,000 views with Tyson Fury. That's a 9-minute interview. So that says it all. That's as much as I'll say about that. So if he's peed off with iFilm, then that's down to Tyson's prerogative, you know. But what can you say? I guess Tyson must feel that there's some favoritism in the camp. I don't know. I don't know what it is all about. Does anyone know the reason why you think that Tyson is peed off? John, you're the one who's brought it up, that you feel that Tyson may be pissed off with iFilm London and Coogan. iFilm still loves Tyson, but yeah, they're all over it. I hope he doesn't pack in boxing, doesn't bother training. The sport needs Tyson. The Boxing Insight, I miss Andy Wilkinson. Ben Michael Blackwell says, I miss Andy Wilkinson. Great. So back to the boxing. Why do you guys think, in your opinion, that Tyson Fury is upset with iFilm London? If he is indeed upset, I don't know. I haven't watched recently. I can't say I've been watching that much, but I don't know. You know, they say the media's got to be impartial, but I don't know. Fury's a very engaging character, and he'll pull you up. And Tyson to get annoyed with everyone jumping on his AJ's paper title. Well, you know, you're world heavyweight champion. iFilm stirs it. Well, you know, iFilm posted a video of Tyson 5 minutes ago. Seems to get on very well. Says Gotson's up. Thank you very much. Because of AJ, I said, okay. In my opinion, says John. I don't know. I can't comment on iFilm London, and I can't comment on Tyson Fury's relationship. I can't. All I can comment on is Bayloric TV and our 330,000 views, and I'll keep on saying it, because if the shoe was on the other foot, I'm sure other people would say it too. Yes. Yeah. It just amazes me, this whole Fury thing. It amazes me how people can talk about Klitschko knocking Fury out, you know, and then if you say that Joshua should fight Klitschko next, people say, oh no, Joshua's got to take his time. But then he doesn't have to take his time to fight Tyson Fury. Absolutely amazing. Right, so let's see. Boxing tonight. I think I've done a preview to that tonight. I did a preview to that tonight. The Eddie Chambers preview with his interview with Eddie Chambers. What you got? James DeGale versus Medina. Good fight tonight. Looking forward to that as well. Bute versus Jack. I think that's going to be a great fight as well. And yeah, I think that's it really. I think that's about it. Thank you all for tuning in. And I'll see you guys after the big fights tonight in America. Thanks for watching.